President Obama has promised to vigorously pursue gun control, and he may use executive orders to do it.
He still wants major new laws on guns, but as Ephraim Graham reports, he may be in for a showdown with Congress.
President Obama says he will reveal his plans to tighten gun control laws later this week, vowing to take action with or without the help of Congress.
I'm confident that there are some steps that we can take that don't require legislation and that are within my authority as president.
While he plans some actions without congressional approval, the president also wants to ban assault weapons and extend background checks for people who purchase firearms at gun shows. And to make that happen, Congress must act.
Members of Congress, I think, are going to have a debate and examine their own conscience.
According to the National Rifle Association, that's not going to happen. The powerful gun lobby says they already have enough congressional votes to block some of the president's plans.
I applaud the conversation. We need to have it stop, but to somehow believe that that just by taking guns away from people is the answer, I don't think history shows that that's the right way to do it.
The Obama administration has suggested using executive orders to bypass Congress if it can't get the gun control measures it wants. But some in Congress are cautioning the president.
I'm against having a king. I think having a monarch is what we fought the American Revolution over. And someone who wants to bypass the Constitution, bypass Congress, that's someone who wants to act like a king or a monarch.
GOP Senator Rand Paul tells CBN News members of Congress are prepared to fight any overreach by the president.
I've been opposed to executive orders, even with Republican president, but one that wants to infringe on the Second Amendment, we will fight tooth and nail, and I promise you there'll be no rock left unturned as far as trying to stop him from usurping the Constitution, running roughshod over Congress, and you will see one heck of a debate if he decides to try to do this.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
Well, they're fighting again on Capitol Hill, and this time the stakes are major. Can a president, a sitting president, issue an executive order that somehow infringes on the Second Amendment? Well, we're going to find out. Well, a group of Christian leaders is speaking out on another major political issue in Washington, immigration reform. Lee Webb has that story from the CBN Newsroom. Lee?
Gordon, evangelical leaders are pointing to Scripture to persuade Christians and lawmakers to support immigration reform. They've started a campaign called I Was a Stranger and asks Christians to spend 40 days studying Matthew 25, which calls on believers to clothe and feed the stranger. Several groups are behind this initiative: the National Association of Evangelicals, the Southern Baptist Convention, Willow Creek Church pastor Bill Hybels, and author Max Lucado. The leaders are not endorsing any legislation. They're simply seeking a balance of national security with policies that keep immigrant families together. The Colorado State Supreme Court has upheld a decision that prevents pro-life protesters from displaying large graphic images of aborted babies. The court says the images cause psychological harm to young children. The protesters believe the images are important because they often prevent abortions, and they say the ruling could have a serious impact on religious freedom and the right to free speech. The protesters' attorney is planning to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. An Iranian-American pastor imprisoned in Iran will soon go on trial for charges related to his Christian faith, and he's been handed over to a judge who is notorious for violating human rights. 32-year-old Saeed Abedini was arrested in September in Iran for his work in Iran's underground Christian community. The American Center for Law and Justice is fighting for Abedini's release. His case has been assigned to a judge who has been called one of Iran's, quote, hanging judges. Abedini writes a letter to his family in which he says he's being beaten in jail and he's been told he will hang for his faith in Jesus. Abedini was granted U.S. citizenship when he married his American wife a couple of years ago. So far, the U.S. State Department has not taken any decisive action on his behalf, even though he is an American citizen. Gordon?
We need to urge the State Department to take action. This is an American citizen now who is facing the death penalty in Iran. What was his crime? Converting to Christianity. So please, get in touch with your congressman, your senator. We do live in a republic where we can petition our government, and let's do that on behalf of this wonderful Iranian pastor. Phone numbers on the screen, 202-224-3121.